Some people don't trust easily, not because they're cold, not because they don't care about people, because they've learned something most people haven't. And once you learn it, you can't unlearn it. They watch everything, quietly, carefully. They notice the small things, the shift in your tone, the slight change in how you text, the moment your energy felt just a little bit off. They remember things you forgot you said. Months later, years later, it's still there. They'll show up for you in ways that feel almost too precise. Like they knew exactly what you needed before you said it. But the moment you try to get close, really close, you feel it. A wall. Invisible but solid. And no matter how much you try, you can't quite get through it. You probably think people like this are distant, paranoid, difficult, hard to love. That's not it. Most of them are actually great at relationships on the surface. They listen, genuinely listen, not just waiting for their turn to talk. They adapt to you. They make you feel understood in a way most people never do. They're warm, they're thoughtful. They remember your coffee order, your sister's name, the thing that happened to you 3 years ago that you only mentioned once. And at the same time, quietly, almost invisibly, they make sure you never get close enough to hurt them. It's not something they decided to do. It's something they learned to do. There's a difference. Here's what most people miss. Trust isn't a personality trait. It's not something you're born with or without. It's a conclusion. Your brain, based on years of experience, starting from when you were very young, decides whether it's safe to depend on people or not, whether love is reliable or conditional, whether opening up leads to connection or pain. And if growing up taught you that love was inconsistent, that care came with strings attached, that the person you needed the most was also the one who let you down, who disappeared, who hurt you, your brain doesn't forget that. It files it away, and it builds a rule around it. Don't rely on anyone, because when you do, it costs you. That rule doesn't come from nowhere. It came from somewhere real. It protected you once. The problem is, it doesn't know when to stop. And here's where it gets complicated. People who don't trust still want connection, deeply. That part of them never disappears, no matter how many walls they build. So their entire life becomes this quiet, exhausting tension, wanting to get close to people and at the same time waiting for it to fall apart. They meet someone they actually like, someone who feels different, and for a moment, just a moment, there's this feeling. Something like hope. Then the brain kicks in. It starts scanning, watching for inconsistencies, replaying conversations to find something that didn't quite add up. Noticing when someone said they'd call and didn't. Noticing when the energy shifted, even slightly. They're not doing this to be difficult. They're doing it because somewhere along the way, the details saved them. Paying attention kept them from getting blindsided. They don't trust words. Words are easy. Anyone can say the right thing. They trust patterns. They trust what you do when it's inconvenient. They trust consistency over time, not promises in the moment. They might test you without ever telling you they're doing it. Pull back a little, just to see if you'll reach out. Go quiet, just to see if you notice. Create a small situation to see how you respond under pressure. It's not manipulation, it's data collection. Their nervous system is trying to figure out if you're safe. And when things start getting real, when the connection starts deepening and the walls start feeling thin, that's usually when they pull away the hardest. Not because they don't want it, because they do. And that's terrifying. From the outside, it looks like they don't care, like they're emotionally unavailable, like they keep self-sabotaging for no reason. The truth is, they care too much to risk it. The closer something feels, the more there is to lose, and they've already lost enough. And it doesn't stop with other people. The distrust turns inward too. That's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. They don't just stop trusting others. They start doubting themselves. They'll be in a situation where their gut is clearly telling them something, and they'll stop and think, but am I being rational? Am I overreacting? Am I projecting? Is this real or am I just scared? They've been told, sometimes by the very people who hurt them, that they're too sensitive, too paranoid, too much. So now they question their own instincts. Maybe I'm imagining this. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I push people away and then blame them for leaving. So now they're stuck in this impossible place, reading every situation with sharp, almost painful accuracy, and at the same time doubting every single conclusion they reach. Hyper-aware, and still second-guessing themselves. It's exhausting in a way that's hard to describe to someone who hasn't felt it. These people often end up carrying everything alone. Not because they want to, but because asking for help requires trust. Showing vulnerability requires trust. Letting someone see the parts of you that aren't okay, that requires trust. And trust feels like standing at the edge of something and not being able to see the bottom. So they handle things themselves. They figure it out alone. They look strong because they've had to be. Not because it's easy, but because it felt safer than depending on someone and being let down again. From the outside, people see independence, strength, self-sufficiency. What they don't see is how lonely it can be to need help and not be able to ask for it. But here's the part most people never see. When someone like this finally trusts you, really trusts you, it's not casual. It doesn't happen by accident. It's not just comfort or familiarity. It means they made a choice that went against everything their brain has been telling them, probably for years. They looked at all the reasons not to, all the ways it could go wrong, all the evidence their past has given them, and they chose you anyway. That's not a small thing. That's one of the biggest things a person like this can do. And if they let you in, they don't do it halfway. They show up fully, completely. They're the ones who remember, who stay, who mean what they say and say what they mean, who will be there at 2 a.m. without making you feel like a burden, who don't just say they care, they prove it over and over because they know what it means to need proof. They're loyal in a way that's rare. Not because they're perfect, but because when they commit to someone, they actually mean it. They know what it costs to trust, so they don't take it lightly. And if you're someone like this, someone who finds it hard to trust, who's been hurt enough to build walls, who wants connection but keeps bracing for the fall, know this. The way you love, when you finally let yourself, it's not broken. It's not too much. It's not a flaw. It's the result of surviving things that were never supposed to happen to you. And coming out the other side still wanting to connect, still hoping, still trying. That's not weakness. That's one of the strongest things there is. Because for people like this, trust was never simple. It was never a given. It was always a risk. And the fact that they still take it, even now, even after everything, says everything about who they really are.